We welcome you to the 2017 USA Ultimate College Championships. We're 2 down and 2 to go on semifinal Sunday here in Southern Ohio. Colorado Colley and Texas Melee, the 8 seed and the 4 seed, 2 South Central rivals in our second women's semifinal, battling for the right to face Dartmouth. There will be a first-time winner in the women's division this year. Princess Layout, Colley, and Melee all bidding for their first college title. Hi, everybody. Evan Lepler with Ian Toner. These two rivals have lots of history between them, most recently at regionals, where their regional final went down to the wire.
South Central Regionals, Colorado Colley beating Texas Melee on Universe Point. A lot of history between these two teams in both club and college settings. Melee coming into this game with revenge on their minds.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago that Colorado prevented a top 10 Texas team from even attending nationals. The 8th seed in the tournament, they got their tournament off to a strong start, albeit in a loss. They played Stanford really tough in their first pool play game. And then behind the play of Kirsten Johnson, they beat Oregon in the quarterfinals this afternoon.
Stanford, the number 1 seed in the tournament, and Colley giving them a great game to start. Later on, they were able to find their rhythm throughout the weekend, and Kirsten Johnson has been the anchor for this D-line, pushing the pace, getting blocks, being that field general that you need to dictate an offense after a turnover.
Nobody on the Colorado roster has thrown more goals than her. For Texas, the 4th seed coming in, they stumbled in pool play in a really tight game against British Columbia, but they bounced back. They won a pre-quarter, and then they beat UCLA. They knocked off Han Chen and the Fightin' Bruins.
Yeah, Coach Edith Tang said that they were really happy with their positive energy and upward trajectory in that game. One of the players we're definitely going to want to keep an eye on is Julia Schmaltz. She is a goal-scoring machine, one of the taller women in the division, listed at 5'11". She's going to be finding the end zone or attempting to do so all game.
Yeah, she has scored goals at will throughout the weekend. We've got breezy conditions, 2 teams that know each other, and 2 programs that are desperate to get to Memorial Day Monday here in Ohio. It's Colorado and it's Texas for a berth in the championship game. Plastic Flies next. The USA Ultimate College Championships are brought to you in part by Discraft Ultrastar. Find the official disc of USA Ultimate at more than 1,900 U.S. retail locations. And by 5 Ultimate, apparel made specifically for Ultimate players by Ultimate players. Visit 5ultimate.com for everything from jerseys and shorts to custom team uniforms. Starting lineups in this semifinal for Colorado Colley: Wynn Henderson, McCormick, Ives, Russell, Chestnut, and Bennett. That's the offensive line for Lauren Boyle and Claire Chastain's team. And for the University of Texas, Gabriella Quina with Julia Schmaltz, Overman's a veteran with Land, Esparza, Gerenser, and Liu. All 3 of those handlers are playmakers for Edith Tang and Alex Klein's team.
Sharu Liu, the Callahan nominee for Texas Melee this year. We've seen them both be all of those 3 handlers be very aggressive, attacking with upline cuts, not afraid to stretch the field with deep looks.
Colorado last appeared in the semis at Nationals in 2010. Texas last appeared in the semis at Nationals 12 years ago in 2005. Both these programs looking for their first national titles. Texas will be in the black, Colorado in the white. And again, when these 2 teams met in Austin earlier this month, 12-11 was the final. Edith Tang said it was probably the best thing that could have happened to us, losing that game, learning from it, and here they are in the semis. Now, we asked the Colorado coaches, Chastain and Boyle, how many points they would expect their top stars to play. And they said it really depends on how the game starts. Kirsten Johnson is the anchor for the D-line, and they like to keep her fresh for that D-line if their offense can score. But there's a miscue downfield from Colorado's Katie McCormick. Both these teams have a bunch of veteran players. For Colorado, they're a pretty old team. A bunch of grad students, although some of them haven't been playing Ultimate for that long. Gerritzer sneaks through and scores. Not a huge window to get that throw off, but it's Laura Gerritzer in the 23 shirt, giving and going up the line.
Just fearless on Gerritzer's part as she attacked that front cone, giving and going. Essentially working the disc up the field in every other manner and beating Jean Russell to the far side cone. And Melee makes Colorado pay for that early unforced turnover, breaking to go up 1-0.
A lot of disc skills on this Texas roster. Sydney Overman to Laura Gerritzer. Gerritzer a junior. Overman was a freshman. Now she's a senior, but she was a freshman back in 2014 when Nationals were here in Cincinnati. And Texas, heading into regionals, thought they would be a top 2 seed in the pool. They were 8th in the nation heading into regionals, and it just did not work out. They were upset by Colorado College and then knocked off by Colorado in a Universe Point backdoor game that sent Collie to Nationals and left Texas at home. And those freshmen have talked about how they have built their program using motivation.
What's their stall count, ladies? Coming in on 3.
Using motivation from that event.
No surprise to see Texas's defense throwing a zony look here. That's what they're known for, and this kind of defense helps them keep that tight rotation and preserve the energy of that tight rotation, often deploying Laura Gerritzer and some of their other taller and longer players on the mark, making it challenging for those throws to get off. As we see Kirsten Johnson coming over here onto the offensive unit for Collie, trying to preserve this hold.
Sneak that throw through to knee Win.
Texas not one to crumble out of this zone defensive look, and Collie staying patient, using the width of the field so far.
Is Texas's goal here to get a block, or is it to force Colorado to make a mistake with so many throws?
I think it's to, I would say the latter. But I think their ultimate goal is to preserve the energy of their defenders while forcing the opposing offense to not go to its primary look. Most offenses would prefer to come out and run a simple pull play with 3 or 4 throws into the end zone, and
all the way down the field and then into the red zone, the miscue comes. Gabriella Quina gets the deflection, and now Texas is going downwind. Funny, the wind has oscillated its intensity over the course of the past couple of hours. This is a downwind shot, looking for Overman, too far for the senior.
Yeah, for the most part, we can say that the wind has been going from right to left on your screen as you view it now, but we've seen, the wind completely die. We've seen a crosswind from the far sideline to the near sideline, but for the most part, things are going from right to left.
Colorado again will try to grind its way down the field. Kelsey Bennet, number 99, swinging the disc. They squeeze it through to win. Russell back to win, and now Ives, and now a miscue.
Short field here for Texas. Again, another unforced turnover.
Andrea Esparza in her 5th year. A year ago at this time, they weren't certain whether she was going to come back to school. That just over the arm of Overman in the end zone. But getting Esparza back, she has been an absolute anchor, moving the disc. This Texas team, Ian, had such a great regular season. 28-4 coming into nationals. They won Centex, finished 2nd at President's Day, 2nd at the Stanford Invite. They were the first team to really knock off Stanford.
Right, and that was the early season shock. Everyone came into this year thinking Stanford bringing back so much talent, so much size, so much experience that they'd walk through everyone and they'd walk right back to another national title. But this Melee team put them on notice at the very first tournament of the spring.
It's still a little surprising, to be perfectly honest, that Stanford isn't here in the semifinals, but they got the matchup with Dartmouth, the 1 and the 2 seeds meeting in the quarters. And Dartmouth was on fire early in that game through the first punch. And that first punch didn't necessarily knock Stanford out, it left Superfly wobbly, and they could never totally recover. Still a great season for Stanford, #1 seed at nationals. Defended their title like the proud program they are. No Women's Ultimate program has won more college titles than Stanford. And again, you said it, it's not the blocks that Texas is getting. It's the throws that it's forcing Colorado to try and make to work it all the way. Just shy of the end zone there. Shrew Liu. Gerentzer swings it. A little too tall for Schmaltz.
Not something you see too often. She's able to get a hand on it, even if it's up in the air. It's something that she'll come down with, and another unforced turnover for Collie, giving Melee a short field.
Esparza to the end zone, caught. This time Schmaltz takes care of business with a fierce look on her face. The coaches were saying how much she loves to compete. Very competitive, very intense. 2-0 Texas.
Kirsten Johnson's throw just a bit behind Meg Henderson, and Henderson was able to get a hand on it. And then that shot into the end zone from Dre Esparza. A lot of traffic in the area. But Schmaltz, with that imposing presence and physicality in the air, able to come down with that one.
Schmaltz, 2nd in the tournament in goals scored. Her first tonight, her 26th of the weekend. Be a pretty good battle tomorrow between Schmaltz and Verjou, the 2 leading goal scorers of the tournament, wouldn't you say? Long way to go, obviously.
Schmaltz and Verjou. Cheru Liu and Angela Zhu. The matchups go on. But I'm sure Colorado's going to have something to say about that in the next few hours.
Four-person cup again comes down there for Texas. And they're trying to force the disc to that far sideline and trap them over there, and this is where Colorado's in trouble.
And you see that one woman in that cup drops all the way off and just straight up marks the dump defender as we see a deep shot to win.
Colorado gets on the board. And that might be what they're going to have to do against this Texas zone. Take some shots.
And I think pretty likely that Kirsten Johnson, also known as KJ in the community, was in a high stall situation and wanted to turn the disc over or give the disc back to Melee as far away as possible while also giving her receiver a shot. Great awareness by Wynn, able to sneak free late in the stall count.
Wynn, the leading goal scorer for Kali throughout the tournament. Her 17th of the weekend, and that was the 21st assist for Kirsten Johnson. In her 5th year, one of a small handful of players who have suited up for the Denver Women's Club team, Molly Brown. Colorado lost their first game at Nationals, but they have taken care of business since. They almost stumbled against Carleton, but hung on for the narrow 1-point win, and then played really well against Oregon this morning. Texas taking down UCLA. Both these teams coming through the pre-quarters. Neither won their pool. In fact, you got 3 of the 4 pool winners not making it to the semifinals. Fine offense from Stanford. That's what Andrea Esparza has done throughout the weekend. If you've watched Texas, you've watched her just slice and dice teams with her throws and her quick handler cuts.
She and Laura Garantzer, I know we've used this term once or twice already, but true field generals, really able to dictate the pace, get the disc on every other throw, attack in spaces where they want to attack. Great bid there by Johnson, but unable to protect that cone, and Andrea Esparza off to a hot start already.
Colorado, Texas, and Dartmouth coming through the pre-quarters. British Columbia, of course, the team that won their pool, but UBC eliminated earlier today 14-8. Texas, the one loss was to UBC. This is a team that has a ton of signature wins, which really bolstered their ranking, got them to be a #1 seed in the pool. The lone loss was in the 4-5 game in that pool, which really was a game that could have gone either way. That was a pretty windy game, I think, if we remember correctly. UBC won on Universe.
Speaks to the strength and depth of that Pool D, getting 2 teams all the way on to the semifinal round.
And 14-13 was the final. And again, in a Universe point had some twists and turns to it as well. And I guess every year it feels like those pool play games could be make or break. The automatic path into the quarters, the free ride through pre-quarters. But this is 2 years in a row. I mean, last year in the men's division, none of the 4 pool winners won.
Last year was chaotic, unprecedented, all of the above.
This year, 3 of the 4 pool winners losing in quarterfinals in the women's division. It's one of the reasons this tournament is so much fun. I was thinking yesterday as some of the results transpired, there's really an art in to how the pieces fall into place, giving meaning to certain games that you may not have anticipated coming into the tournament. Good look, but there was a reason she was so wide open. A pick was called. Knee Win.
Wynn looks to be a little upset by that one. Not sure if her defender was close enough to actually call a pick, but it looks like the disc will go back to Russell.
Coming in on 1, coming in on 1.
That'll work.
Second time's the charm for Russell and Wynn, beating both of their defenders there to that front side cone.
So this game has stabilized. We had 8 total turnovers in the first 2 points, and the last 3 points have been clean offense, 2 of the 3 for Kali.
And you know, some of that's not surprising. You know, early game jitters on the big national stage, a lot on the line. Might expect to see some players have to work out some of those kinks and settle into the rhythm of the game.
In case you're wondering, both these teams played Dartmouth really tough this year. Texas met Dartmouth in the Stanford Invite Finals. Dartmouth won it 13-11. Colorado met Dartmouth in the Northwest Challenge, and that was a universe point game, 12-11 to Dartmouth, one of their 3 wins that weekend. The women of Princess Layout, Eugene Yum, Laura Bitterman, they are watching this game closely. Texas grooving right down the field.
Again, Lauren Gerritzer essentially working and getting the disc every other throw. She and Drea Esparza giving and going.
It's brilliant.
Reminiscent of Claire Chastain, the Kali coach who played for Wilmington Seaweed, and even Dylan Freechild, the Oregon Ego alum, with that give and go handler movement there.
4-2 now as Texas on offense. Another clean point led by Gerritzer and Esparza.
And you see Esparza able to attack where and when she wants, and Gerritzer just confidently moving the disc around, using her length to break the mark when she needs to, an established position. 3 points already for Laura Gerritzer.
Laura, the daughter of a very proud father, Jim, who is the founder of the ERIC organization. Early recognition is critical. That has done a lot of things in the sport of ultimate, raising cancer awareness, getting the word out among kids for both cancer symptoms and ultimate. Big Jim Gerritzer, also, of course, the owner of the Dallas Roughnecks, who are undefeated no more, but defending champs.
And this is a tough situation for Colorado. They're losing yardage, working further and further back. And for a second there, Texas had been forcing them all the way over to that trap sideline.
Am I right in thinking that when the disc is held for more than a few seconds, that's when the zone really starts to take advantage?
Yes. The defenders are able to reposition, set into their spots and where they need to be, assess the most dangerous spot on the field. Nice throw there by Russell, breaking that cup wide open.
Well done. Colorado goes the length of the field from their own end zone. It looked like Texas had them clamped down. And it was the dump swing and then the first 25-yard gainer that really opened everything up.
Great patience there by Colorado. You know, they were willing to lose 40 or 50 yards if they had to, just to eventually move the disc all the way around and find the hole that they needed to break things open. Credit to Gene Russell, great vision and execution there, and Meg Henderson finding open space and helping to finish the point here for the Collie offense.
It was Russell to Henderson to punch it in. That's now 5 straight clean offensive holds, turnover free. You see Claire Chastain walking off the line with the clipboard. Coach of Colorado Collie, of course, the Callahan Award winner in the women's division for UNC Wilmington back in 2013. And she said after this game ends, no matter what the result is, she's going to throw her Wilmington shirt on and cheer on her school as they play North Carolina. Second time in 3 years that those two Carolina rivals have matched up in the semifinals. Esparza and Gerritzer are doing what they want to do out there.
Nothing's really slowing them down. We see Cheru Liu with the disc there on the force sideline, just a few yards outside the end zone.
So we'll repeat 5? So tell me 5.
Through the hands of Esparza, the shot from Liu was really hot. Not sure she was expecting it.
Yeah, that upline fake clear to the turnaround inside shot is something that's very popular.
Are you contesting this or not? Are you contesting the travel or not? Okay, would you like a ruling or contested travel? Not much, just count reach +1. Okay, what's her stall count, ladies?
And it looks like Esparza
Saying
did
4 then?
get
Are
her
you okay
head
with
around
this?
in time to see it go
Okay.
up, but
Stalling 4, let's get it started, please.
unable to
Let's
catch.
check it in, saying 4.
And if Colorado can break here, let's remember that drop.
Gerritzer cancels the throw on the goal line. Esparza to the end zone, caught, and then dropped. Land lost it.
And no foul call. It definitely looked like
This is not going to work.
some contact there from Johnson as Gerritzer and Esparza started to get off to the races.
Gerritzer plays through the contact again, downfield.
There's confusion over whether or not there was a foul call.
There was no call.
So there should be no stoppage at this point. There's no check. The disc should be live. and we saw her just unable to survive the contact. I think a foul call would have been upheld in that situation.
You're gonna repeat the last number you said. So just back one. So stalling 2.
Ironwood, Driscoll, and Wong.
Coming in on 2.
Nice job by Overman coming to that disc and then sneaking it through Gerenser. Esparza floats it to Quina. Gerenser to nobody.
I think she thought Shirulu was going to slash across the front of the stack just a bit more aggressively there than she did. But then Gerenser sets that imposing mark right away on the goal line.
Just trying to get it off that goal line. Mockery keeps it in bounds. And a collision in the middle of the field. That's Hillary Egan.
What's the call, ladies?
Slow to get up, but she's all right.
The foul. Stalling 1.
Colorado bidding for the break. Intercepted and then launched. Lose deep ball. Schmaltz. So close.
Great bid by Schmaltz. And that's the quick strike capability of Texas that we haven't necessarily seen so far this game. But it's definitely something in their offensive arsenal.
We've had more turnovers on this point in the first 7 points combined. And Esparza takes the timeout as this marathon continues. Texas trying to hold to maintain their advantage. But Colorado starting to make some things happen. Some of these deep shots are working out. Edith Tang, middle school teacher. She played at Rice and has coached Texas these past couple of years. Some interesting comments from the Texas team about how in women's ultimate there's a lot of talk about West Coast versus East Coast. And the women in Austin don't identify in either of those designations.
As we get a look at the Colorado Mama Bird men's team.
That is dedication.
Out there.
Although it's not that cold or anything. It's not like it's 30 degrees in there.
Right.
Out of the timeout, just shy of the end zone. Land, low throw, finds the grass. Wild point continues. Colorado's got numbers. Yikes.
A couple of those.
Would you like a ruling?
Throwers don't necessarily look as comfortable with the disc.
Stalling 1. Let's get it started, please.
It's going to start with a ground check after a down call.
Big shot. Not going to work.
And that actually didn't come back in bounds, but Kirsten Johnson did call foul.
Whenever you're ready.
Another shot to the end zone. That will work. A break for College. It's Britta Bergstrom, the sophomore who played for the Colorado B team last year, making an impact, the upwind catch for all.
And this all started with Kirsten Johnson breaking the mark there, a nice inside shot. And remember what we said a few moments ago, Evan. Remember those end zone opportunities down there that Texas had to hold. A number of drops, one that could have been called a foul, a turf here, a drop there.
They had a lot of chances. Good backhand from Egan into the end zone. Colorado, after falling behind 2-0, taking advantage of Texas's mistakes.
Megan Ives on the pull. Good to see her out there after suffering an ankle roll earlier in the weekend.
Texas still up a break. They got 2 in the first 2 points. Great defensive effort there from Egan.
Garenser and Esparza just looking for each other every other throw once again. Ives coming close to a block there.
And they certainly have a different style than, say, Angela Zhu and Juliana Werfeli. Esparza looking for Schmaltz. Denied. Great defense, knee win.
And that wasn't even Knee's defensive assignment. She came over and got up there in between Schmaltz's hands. Ives was her defender, wasn't going to be able to make the play. Very alert play from Wynn.
Claire Chastain giving a thumbs up to her thrower after the decision, launching it downfield too far for Macri. Kate Macri, by the way, I believe is the oldest player in the women's field. She's 29 years of age. She did her undergrad in Indiana, got her master's at Ball State, now getting her PhD. She still has 2 years left. She could be playing college ultimate at age 31, which I think just makes the rest of us jealous.
If only. Is that what we call living the dream?
Very envious. Although we got a pretty good seat here. Lou back to Esparza. Garenser. Schmaltz hanging out downfield. You know they want to look for her. Megan Ives defending. Off the deflection, it's gonna find Schmaltz, and it's gonna count. The exhausted Texan, Julia Schmaltz, with the upwind hold for Melee.
You know, as Esparza gets this disc, you're gonna see Garenser with it, and she's gonna go behind the mark, and then she's gonna cut around Garenser. And I don't understand why Hillary Egan, the defender there, didn't call a pick. Because she kind of had to adjust her course and go around Garenser and the other defender to be able to get in position and do it. That's a textbook pick. You've got to call that. And then Egan has the ability to set the mark and potentially prevent that break throw from going off.
I think it's a reasonable point. Another assist for Esparza. She's got 2 goals, 2 assists so far, and Schmaltz with her second strike of the night. (5-4) Texas. Have to imagine Esparza is going to play most of the points for Melee.
Eight of these Texas Melee women part of the Austin Showdown roster. But here's how Texas Melee got here today.
Well, they used a box-and-one defense on Han Chen, which is something that we've seen for teams with great players. And yes, well, it's not necessarily a box-and-one because there's not the same boxes in basketball, but we saw a team employ a 3-person cup, 2 wings, a deep, and 1 person basically chasing. Saw someone chasing Han Chen. We saw Virginia run it against Notre Dame with a permanent mark on Julia Butterfield.
And that epic comeback for Hydra, down 12-7, able to tie it up at 12 and win. Excuse me, that was Michigan in pool play.
Good battle against Notre Dame, too. I enjoyed watching the Notre Dame women, and not just because their team name is Woom, and my college team name at Wake Forest back in the day was Woom. They have great spirit, and the Notre Dame guys create one heck of an entertaining sideline.
We see Colley staying patient and able to break through the Texas Cup once or twice. A rest point here for some of Melee's starters. We don't see Gerentzer out there, Cheru Liu, Julia Schmaltz, Esparza.
Wynn had a chance to launch deep. Domenica Sutherland was lingering back there for Texas.
Nice throw there from Russell. She's been very aggressive with those inside lane breakthrows so far this game.
Jean Russell from Lakewood, Colorado, a town that has produced several top Ultimate players, 1 male, 1 female on the USA World Games roster from Lakewood, Colorado, Jimmy Mickle and Leanne Hoffman. How about that toss? Win the recipient, Kelsey Bennet, with a strike.
And this is reminiscent of one of those back shoulder throws we saw in the Massachusetts Carleton semifinal. Bennet just kind of catches her defender with her eyes nowhere near the disc, just kind of watching her defender downfield. And in the red zone, you got to check back in at all times. There are so many dangerous lanes and angles, and great job by Bennet kind of exploiting that lack of awareness. A nice throw to win.
"5'5" senior from Superior, Colorado. And now Sarah Ferraro getting ready to pull. The Rocks for Texas back on the field. Gerentzer, Quina, Liu, Overman, Esparza, and Schmaltz. Gerentzer receives the pull, plays catch with Esparza. Both Gerentzer and Esparza among the invitees for U24 Team USA tryouts. Marissa Land and Julia Schmaltz also expected to attend.
They got one tryout weekend in Ohio in June and another one in Colorado later in the month.
There's some coaches scouting here at Nationals this weekend, watching some of the best U24 players in very intense conditions.
Lauren Boyle, one of the Colorado Collie coaches on the U24 mixed coaching staff.
Through the contact, Schmaltz perseveres and bullies it through. Shirulu from Schmaltz. Turnover-free hold for Texas. Melee remains up by a break.
Great to see Schmaltz survive that contact. A really reckless bid. I'm not sure how intentional it was, or reckless bid by Tatiana Hutchinson, but tough to see that one.
She might have been tripped by her teammate.
Again, you gotta protect that four-side cone. Another strike cut goal. You know, that speaks to the power and aggression of these Texas handlers being able to dictate and get to that space when they want to, but you know, Colorado defenders gotta protect that cone a little more effectively.
(6-5), Texas by 1. Colorado back on 0. We asked Claire Chastain and Lauren Boyle, how'd you beat Oregon? And there's a mistake, no one communicating who's gonna get the pull. The answer to how they beat Fugue, super patient zone-o and really tight person D. The first half of that Oregon game, each team had 2 breaks. Colorado did not get broken in the second half. Fugue was broken 3 times by Collie.
Great snag there by Bennett. She works it through the cup to win.
And it's been fun to watch this Colorado team these last couple of years gain confidence. You know, Claire Chastain, their coach, there aren't many more confident women in ultimate than Claire. I mean, she is a confident player, a confident leader, a confident person, and she has instilled that mentality into her players. I remember last year they wanted to get Claire back home, originally a North Carolina native. I think they made tanks or shirts, the road to Bojangles. Dreaming of that fried chicken. Not sure if there was the same rallying cry this year here in Cincinnati, but they are in the semifinals. And after a slow start, they fell behind 2-0. They really have found a rhythm.
A great grab by Wynn despite the bidding pressure from Schmaltz.
Russell. In a very tight space, Wynn is there. 6-all. What an offensive possession for Colorado.
Perhaps the most patient we've seen them all night. Wynn getting the best of Schmaltz twice on this point. She'll catch it despite this contested under, and then she's going to make a strike cut in really small space and just barely get her shoulder inside Schmaltz there to beat her to the cone.
What is the key to that cut? Because it didn't look like there was going to be any space for her. How did she get open?
You know, I don't think Schmaltz kept her hips open, so that allowed, let's take another look at it here. Her hips are open there as she starts to slide over to the sideline, and that opens just a tiny bit of space for Wynn to get her shoulder underneath and inside and attack. If she's going to open her hips, she's got to make some aggressive crossover steps and go with her as she starts to attack that most dangerous point on the field.
Certainly a coaching point to be made from the film there. Well done, Ian. Gene Russell found the space, saw the opening. Texas still up a break, but after Kali's shaky start, it feels like this game is dead even.
You think back to the opportunities Texas had earlier where they dropped some passes on the goal line, and Texas gets the disc back. KJ puts up a backhand downwind.
Missed opportunity. Tough to not give your team a chance to make that play.
Yeah, you'd like to see that at least land inbounds. Give your receiver a shot.
Becky, time, Becky, inside, Becky.
Garenser, low throw, bailed out by Overman.
I believe Bergstrom may have called it down on the field.
Fans think it was up. And the down call has been rescinded. Let's see it. That's a great catch. Good shot by our crew. And there's the turnover. Colorado, can they get this back on serve? Schmaltz denies the underneath.
A nice run-through block there. You saw Tatiana Hutchinson start to slow up as soon as the disc went up.
Schmaltz inbounds. Delayed signal from the observers, but eventually ruled her in. Couple turnovers aside, and Texas holds.
Bookends here from Julia Schmaltz. She gets the run-through block and then toes the line after going deep. Great concentration. So we see the right toe on the ground, the disc in her right hand.
What a catch.
She's a fierce competitor, and she might be the best athlete on the Melee roster.
Julia Schmaltz was a high jumper. She also briefly rode on the crew team. Senior who's in her second season on Melee. What a find. (7-6) is the score. Texas by 1. Dartmouth awaiting the winner.
You know, we've been talking about jinxes earlier, the broadcaster's jinx, the stat boy jinx. I don't want to jinx anything, but we've had the threat of severe weather all day, and we've been fortunate to stay dry and free of any lightning to date. We still do have one full game and one full half of action left.
Ian, if it starts raining, I promise I will not hold you responsible. I would not want to be a hypocrite. I've told many a minor league pitcher that it wasn't my fault that you walked a guy just because I said you hadn't walked a guy in 23 innings. You threw the pitches.
We're going to see a more stacked defensive line here for Texas Melee. Garants are coming over. Schmaltz out there again. Chirulu and Esparza. But if anything, the last few points have shown us that Kali can stay patient against this defensive look.
Kelsey Bennet, nice find. Nee Win has a really good field sense downfield as a popper against the zone. She just finds little pockets of space.
Win, a veteran of Team USA World Junior recognition. And just like that, right on cue, she comes in for a nice underneath and give and go with Megan Ives.
Looking, end zone, Win, not this time.
Great recognition by Win to even follow the play and give herself a shot at that disc. Throw intended for Megan Ives.
Esparza just launches, and it somehow finds Queena to Overman. Can't believe they didn't fire that up for Schmaltz. She's in the end zone with a grin on her face. Now they launch for her. Esparza's throw is perfect, and Texas takes half. Biding their time. Melee up 2 breaks in intermission.
If we could go back to that first huck from Esparza, we saw her catch the swing and then pump fake a deep shot. As we go back to the turnover here, this was an end zone shot for Ives that Win ended up getting inches away from catching. And as Esparza got this huck off, she pump faked a backhand huck down the sideline, and that opened up a huge inside-out lane where she was able to release the backhand huck and get it to midfield.
And yet it still looked like a defender was there, but slightly misjudged it. Queena made the grab. Meg Henderson got in that throwing lane to prevent the immediate huck. You saw Schmaltz there kind of laughing. And then her game face back on. Let's go, Texas. Let's go. 8-6. The team that fell short in the regional final in hometown with a 2-score lead at the half. We're joined by Lauren Boyle, the coach of Colorado, and an exciting first half. What did it take for you guys to find your composure and work some solid O points? Because you really found a rhythm after a shaky start.
We adapt a mentality as many as it takes, and we really just fell into that, settled into the pace that we wanted to play. And once we were doing that, we found a lot of success with our rockstar O-line, and I'm really proud of them.
What are you going to focus on in the halftime huddle?
I would say that we're going to up our defensive intensity and also our defensive composure. We've gotten some turns, and now we just got to cash them in, cash in our hard work.
Lauren Boyle, congratulations on making it this far. Best of luck in the second half.
Thanks. Go Buffs.
Colorado Kali trailing by 2 to Texas, the 4 seed and the 8 seed. You get the sense these two teams are very even, but Texas up 2 and receiving in the second half. 8-6 Texas. Claire Chastain and Lauren Boyle talking to their team. They certainly stabilized after a shaky start, and then Texas closed the half on a break. Pretty entertaining and well played first half there, and pretty good stretches, Ian.
No, yeah, I think Colorado was a little nervous, a little shaky to start. They definitely had some unforced errors, but once they settled into a rhythm, we were able to see their prowess and confidence and composure against the zone. And at the same time, we saw the prowess and confidence and composure of the top core of Texas melee, and that included Laura Gerenser, Dre Esparza, and their supporting cast. As we take a look here at Gerenser going every other to score right off the bat.
The second point was a shaky one. There were 7 turnovers, and finally Esparza would launch for Schmaltz. Julia Schmaltz has been the top playmaker for Texas downfield.
And this is what kind of got things started and instilled some confidence in the Collie roster. A nice shot from Johnson to win.
Where would Colorado be without Nee Win in that first half?
This would not be a 2-point game, I'll tell you that much.
That was Hillary Egan connecting with Britta Bergstrom for an important upwind goal that got Colorado back into it. Better to be lucky than good sometimes. Off the hands of Overman, secured by Schmaltz, and then through the contact. Schmaltz showing that she's very capable throwing the disc, especially in the red zone. But Wynn threw her body around, hit the ground on several occasions.
And this might be a different score if she had been able to reach one disc that was just too far for her. And again, another one of the fantastic displays of athleticism from Julia Schmaltz there, making the grab and towing the line. And then Dre Esparza, the vision, shooting to the far corner, finding Julia Schmaltz. That's a potent connection right there.
8-6, the halftime score. The men's Callahan ceremony is underway. We'll tell you who won the Callahan in the men's division when we return to Ohio. 8-6, our halftime score. Second half coming up from Franklin, Ohio. Big first halves for Nee Win, Julia Schmaltz, and Andrea Esparza. Gene Russell had 3 assists as well for Colorado Collie. We are set for the second half. Texas receiving with a 2-point edge. How does Colorado transform this deficit into a lead?
They got to do something to slow down Esparza and Gerenser, and maybe even Schmaltz.
Wow, that was fast. The throw angled perfectly to the pylon, and Schmaltz kept it in bounds. 9-6.
What was that, a 2-throw possession? The swing to Sherulou. You know, football talks about a coffin corner punt. That is a picture-perfect front corner throw. That's Julia Schmaltz's 5th goal of this game. And again, Wynn giving chase, peeling off her assignment. But Schmaltz able to toe the line. To get back to your question, Evan, I think Colorado has to find a way to make life more difficult for Texas's handlers. There's a certain amount of inevitability that when throws go up downfield, and if there's time to get under it, sure, Schmaltz might get under it. But do what you can to make life a little more difficult for Esparza, for Sherulou, for Laura Gerenser. Force them to go and concede the around rather than sneaking these inside shots and upline cuts all the way up the field.
I think it's a great point, because the Texas handlers have been pretty darn comfortable. Colorado handlers not as much, in part because of this zone defense. Colorado going backwards right now.
This is what Texas wants to see. And you'll see that 4-person cup became a 3-person cup, with that 4th defender dropping off and making any further reset or a round pass more challenging. And Dominica Sutherland comes up with a block.
If it stands, looked like she had it. The observers will chime in.
Body. Did she say upper arm? Then yes.
Okay.
Could you? Sorry.
I had a full hand on my arm, and that prevented me from getting to the disc. I had no absolute play.
If anything, it might have been my forearm, but I definitely did not grab her.
Okay. Observer ruling. It was a foul. Okay. It'll be here.
Yeah. I'm not sure about Dominica Sutherland's argument there, because
One.
it's not a matter of
Ready?
if she grabbed her or if she touched her. It's a matter of any contact impeding. That's a tough angle. But a definitive ruling from the observer.
Yeah, and it looked like she got it right. Wynn was impeded by Sutherland's left arm, whether it was a grab or just kind of the arm bar.
Okay.
It's also she's there, so that's 10 feet too.
All right, that's fine. It was a double team. You have been close overall as a cup, and we are giving a TMF for that. Oftentimes there are extra people here, but you're not moving back out again when they leave. You're staying too close. All right, so it'll be one.
You might say this game's a nail biter, or Claire Chastain might call
Yes.
it a pen biter. TMF given to Texas for too many double teams. Only one defender can be within 10 feet of the disc. If a second offensive player, as they say, crashes into the cup, then everything can collapse. But as the observer articulately stated,
Here, or you can come to me. Okay, my rule, it was a stall. It'll be here. Dark is going to tap the ground and it'll be live. Yep, you can just tap. Good.
10.
Great pressure there from that Texas zone, forcing the stall.
this is a critical defensive stand for Colorado. Less than 18 minutes away from the soft cap. Texas, without many of its stars on the field, trying to convert.
You're ready.
Schmaltz, Lou, Esparza, Gerentzer all on the sideline.
And Wynn powering through and getting the block right away. Colorado finds themselves in a familiar predicament, trapped on the forced sideline, and this is the key throw right there. That's the throw that has to get off.
You think Colorado missed an opportunity by not attacking in transition? Wynn took off after the D, and it was like she wanted the disc to go, and they just couldn't find a lane to get the huck off. I guess you give Texas some credit as well. That's a big swing. They need more of those. Russell into the hands of Henderson. So whereas it looked like it could move to 10-6, Colorado back within 2 at 9-7.
So once Colorado was able to get things around that cup, up the forced sideline.
That's the
this
swing that opened it up.
Exactly, and great things happen when you use the width of the field. And as soon as they were able to change the point of attack, as some coaches like to say, a whole host of options opened up, and Gene Russell was able to find Meg Henderson.
Jessie Chestnut kept her spacing on that near side of the field for the swing, and then the juniors connect Russell and Henderson. So it's a 2-score game. Dartmouth, a 14-8 winner over British Columbia. For most of these players, today began about 11 hours ago. Both Texas and Colorado began their morning games at 8:30, but they were out warming up well before that. Schmaltz had it poked away. Tatiana Hutchinson, former member of the Colorado B team. She played with some really good defense against Courtney Gegg in the pool play game.
Yeah, she's got a fearless mentality. She isn't intimidated by the big names or the size of her opponents. She's ready to take on the challenge as described by her coaches.
The coaches almost made it sound like she's an ignorant freshman. You hear basketball coaches talk, they don't know any better. Doesn't really know or understand the stakes of the situation, just goes out there, doesn't know who any of the opposing players are, doesn't read any hype, and yet Julia Schmaltz deserving of that hype.
That's 6 goals tonight for Julia Schmaltz. And another time we've seen that connection from the near sideline all the way over to the far end zone corner between Drea Esparza and Julia Schmaltz.
Six goals and an assist. Esparza continues to be a rock back there.
Involved in 7 of Texas's 10 goals so far this game.
That last goal was the 31st of the tournament for Schmaltz, moving her one past Jacqueline Verjou, who's got 30. Little subplot tomorrow, perhaps. Not that anyone really cares.
We'll see if Colorado can change any of that or limit Schmaltz in her final few points of this game.
Ni Win is 3rd in the tournament now with 20 goals.
Nice throw by Russell. That's the key to opening up that space on the break side. He's had a number of those slicing throws throughout this game for Collie.
You can see the 6 black jerseys, and now Schmaltz, the left side of your screen, just kind of hanging out back there. Wondering if Colorado will dare and test her deep. That's the nice throw. Win into the red zone. Texas matches up, and that'll work for Collie. What is Collie, you might be wondering? Well, according to Claire Chastain and Lauren Boyle, she's the goddess of death and destruction. And apparently there's a story on Wikipedia that Collie likes to win wars and then throw dance parties. And that is basically the perfect name for this Colorado team, because they were throwing a dance party as they walked into the stadium today.
They were. And you know, if it's on Wikipedia, then it has to be accurate,
That was what I said.
I have to say, one of the, ultimate players are not above heckling and and sarcasm and sarcastic humor. And one of the funnier cheers I heard on the sideline this weekend was I believe it was Carlton chanting "Ulti World Fake News." Perhaps one of the most reliable sources of information for the sport of ultimate.
Ulti World did a great job with its coverage, streaming the pool play games, pre-quarters and the quarterfinals this morning. And obviously their coverage continues throughout the tournament. A great crew of reporters roaming the fields.
And this is
that disc hanging and defended.
I was just about to say, this is better handler defense from Colorado. That denying those upline cuts.
Kirsten Johnson, she's had a relatively quiet game. Could that be a huge turning point? Bennet, no, denied.
And Schmaltz is taking off. Is Sharulu gonna put it up to her?
What do you think? Great defense in the cup, denying the deep shot. And now Schmaltz is out of the play. Schmaltz getting back into the end zone, but not quickly enough. Colorado has broken. Just the second break of the day for the Cali D. 10-9 as we approach the soft cap, 8 minutes or so from now.
And Schmaltz was streaking deep all alone. Sharulu had the wind at her back, but a great heads-up play by the Cali defensive unit, able to block the Huck, not 5 yards outside the end zone, and Wynn just winning the battle to the front corner. And you see Schmaltz all alone, but Lou couldn't get the Huck through to her.
Kelsey Bennet, her teammates actually call her Goose. And when she has a great throw, they like to say that she laid an egg. Kelsey Goose Bennet. Not to be confused with Jonathan Goose Helton. Bennet, number 99 with another assist. She's had the last 2 dimes for Cali. 1-score game. You wonder, Ian, which team has more legs down the stretch? Feels like both teams have been largely relying on a crew of 6 to 10 players.
Right. And this was something we talked about in the British Columbia Dartmouth game as well.
Lou floats it up. Schmaltz went up for it. Heck of an effort. She didn't have position though and could not make the heroic grab.
Great challenge there by Ni Wynn.
Tough drop from Capra on the in-cut.
Short field here for Texas. Got to remember those late game break opportunities. When the margins are this small in the semifinals, those may be some of the only chances you get.
Garenser with a stall count rising, looking for who else? Julia Schmaltz. Wow.
I don't even know if that came out the way Garenser wanted it to. It looked like it kind of started to curve and blade and die.
It was just a high stall count heave somewhere in the vicinity of the #1 target. Let her do the rest.
7 goals now for Julia Schmaltz.
That's it?
As you see the wind pick that up just a tiny bit. Schmaltz battling, gets inside position on Ives.
She's scored all 3 goals for Texas here in the second half. So much fun to have a player like her on your team. 32 goals in the tournament. Schmaltz is a senior. Ask both coaches if there were any seniors that you expected to come back for a 5th year. And both coaches kind of said the same thing: we never give up hope.
Right. Wait until that registration deadline, see if anyone's enrolled for a master's class here and there.
If Schmaltz decided to return, remember, she didn't start playing Ultimate until last year. So she's got plenty of eligibility. If she returns, she could have a heck of a Callahan candidacy from this game alone.
You know, I don't want to count Kali out at this point.
Fair.
But I am salivating. You know, you hinted at this earlier, at the prospect of a Schmaltz-Verjou matchup all game long.
And both Dartmouth and Texas have a pretty good arsenal of throwers to create a really exciting downfield game. But as you said, Kali's still in this. Very much alive. Knee Wynn has been the backbone for Colorado. Kelsey Bennet in the handling core. Henderson back to Bennett. When you were in college, were you one of those guys that would run in the cup over and over again? Do you know how Laura Gerenser's feeling right now?
Oh man, that's why, you know, an unfortunate drop there by Kali, and that's why you run suicides and kill drills and Tabatas and fartlicks all throughout the year. Sorry, it's track workout terminology. It's a kind of interval training regimen.
I didn't understand all those terms, but we can move on. Colorado fortunate to get it back after the miscue. Bennett and Russell, they're the 2 anchors for this O-line offense. Low throw, pulled up by Ives.
Nice find there by Ives.
Through the contact, Bennett. To the end zone. Got it. Katie McCormick, 27-year-old grad student, but in her first year on the team. 11-10. Another assist for Kelsey Bennet. Kelsey Bennet has thrown the last 3 Colorado goals.
Great vision, and surprised to see Shiru Liu not able to make the play there. She knows that's one of the more dangerous spots on the field. Once again, kind of just caught face guarding, not seeing the throw go up. That's something we've seen a few times in all 3 games we've called today.
McCormick, 27 years of age. The Kali coaches were joking that the average age of Kali is older than the average age of Molly Brown, the club team. Macri's 29, McCormick is 27, Hillary Egan's 26. Although no one on this team yet can hold the status of Lisa Doan, who in 2015 pulled off a miraculous triple crown trifecta, whatever you want to call it. She competed in college nationals, club nationals, and believe it or not, masters nationals. She was in her early 30s, and as far as I know, no one else has ever been able to do that. College, club, and masters in the same year. It's mind-boggling.
We need to get someone on our Ultimate to go and fact-check that one for us. Go dig through the archives.
Again, I never played a 5th year, so if they change the rules,
nor did I.
To so they don't have to be continuous. Maybe a couple years from now, he could pull it off. I'm almost Masters eligible.
Yeah, well, I do think they have to be continuous, but one can dream, right?
To think about all those track workouts you described to get in shape for a 5th year, I'm not sure that is the best idea. 11-10, Texas by 1 and receiving. The cap went off, or the clock expired during the break. So the cap will go on after this next point.
So if Texas scores, it's going to be 12-10, game to 14. And if Colorado scores, it's going to be 11-11, game to 13.
How about that effort from Sydney Overman, keeping it alive. By the way, by the end of the weekend, hang on, Julia Schmaltz on the radar, triple teamed. There was a call. There was certainly contact. Schmaltz triangulated by 3 Collie defenders.
Be interested to see who or what point she calls the foul on. Looks like some fair jostling from, I don't know. That looked like a clean block. Maybe Tatiana Hutchinson falling into her, causing her to fall over earlier. Maybe there's an argument there, but I didn't see any foul from Wynn or Ives.
Observer. You want to come to the observer? Okay, foul is called. Coming to the observer, no foul. Wait. Please, stay here, please. Stay here, please. Okay, so we'll tap the ground and then we can move, okay? Yeah. 20.
Boyle and Chastain have to be proud of their defenders on that one. Wolf packing the hanging disc, triangulating, making it difficult for Schmaltz to come down with that catch, but who else is going to get the block but me Win?
Great team defense. Colorado with a chance to tie. I was going to say, by the end of the weekend, you got to come up with a name for the club of college nationals, club nationals, and masters nationals in the same year.
All right.
Go to work.
I'll have it ready for tomorrow.
So who's calling the travel then? Okay, so when did she travel?
So
coming in on 2. Okay? Coming in on 2. Coming in on 2.
We do spend a lot of time arguing about a second or two, but they do the same thing in other sports as well, getting the clock right. So you do want to get it right. That is the most important thing. To make it fair for all.
Great find there by Johnson. Able to go through the cup. This is the danger zone. You don't want to get yourself over on that trap sideline willingly when there are other options.
Johnson immediately looks for the swing to Ives. Again, Schmaltz is just hanging out downfield all by herself. One collie cutter down there is Kate Macri. Not really threatening. This disc just hanging in the air, and it's caught by Wynn. Goodness gracious. That is a punch in the gut.
It is a crushing drop. Do you think Hutchinson was just surprised to see it go up?
The other way. Schmaltz does it.
Travel called several throws ago.
on the huck.
Is
On here,
this
okay.
a travel?
Yes. Are you contesting this travel?
It looked like
Okay.
you could call
Are you happy
Marissa
to
land.
contest the travel, or would you like a ruling?
Oof. Both of those.
My ruling is you did travel. You drug your foot. It's back here.
Coming back.
That was close. That was minuscule.
We're 2 throws to go. 2 throws. 2 throws. It will be stalling one when everyone's set.
I
Let's
don't know
wait.
about that one.
Let's wait.
In these tight elimination games
Whenever you're ready.
at Nationals,
Stalling one.
there are always a couple signature points and moments that you look back to. And 11-10 here in the semis. Mark it down.
And Johnson overcommits, lets Lou get upline late in the stall count.
Gerritzer to Schmaltz.
8 goals for Julia Schmaltz.
Automatic.
And you know what made that goal possible was Texas using the width of the field.
So this 50-50 disc caught by Wynn. Maybe she rushed it. Hutchinson was calling for it.
And hard to say that she wasn't expecting it. I believe that's what I had said earlier. She was clearly had her arms open for it.
Wynn again throws her body on the ground. Has to be 30 times in the game. Wow. 12-10 Texas will play to 14. Holly is going to have to score 4 of the next 5 to win. It's a combination of her size and her timing and some good throws. 4 assists for Gerritzer. Critical 0 point here for Kali. As for the first time in the game, the sun has broken through. And mostly cloudy skies. We've been wondering if we'd get a thunderstorm. So far, we are dry and happy. Again, Texas's first line is on the sidelines. It's nice to bring in 6-foot-tall freshman Caroline O'Connell and her long arms in the cup, along with 5'9" Anna Kate Hutton. Melinda Gidlow and Caitlin Zacharias also in the cup. Zacharias, an Ohio native, back in her home state for nationals. Again, still to come tonight, scheduled for an 8 o'clock start, North Carolina and UNC Wilmington.
Good patience by these collie handlers and poppers. Eager to keep this disc off that trap sideline as we see them swinging it here to the break side.
Colorado works it all the way downfield, and Ni Win punctuates the possession. 12-11. Turnover-free hold from Kali. Ni Win is putting together a performance that even someone like Julia Schmaltz would probably turn her head and say, that's pretty impressive.
Game recognized game, right?
Right. Henderson to Ives, who picks up the assist. Seven goals for Wynn. We've had 23 goals in the game, and 15 of those 23 from two players. That was critical, obviously. Didn't want to fall behind 13-10 in the game to 14. Colorado gonna need 2 breaks to win among these next 4 points. Two, 3, or 4 points, that's all that's left in one of these teams' seasons.
Nice junk here from the Colorado defense, and that's a short field turnover. We saw a number of their offensive line personnel coming over here. Bennett's gonna pick up the disc just 10 yards outside the end zone.
Open side, got it! It's Ives breaking free, and her look says it all. What do you say, Ian? 12 all, game to 14.
It's the finish we wanted, and not sure what happened there. It hit Esparza in the hands. Maybe it came in a little quicker than she was anticipating. And I don't know, that as a coach, first throw, 4-side cone goal is tough to swallow as a defensive coach.
Beating Gabriella Quina. Garenser just flubbed off Esparza's hands. She looked as surprised as anybody. How could my hands betray me in this moment? Ives, certainly one of the leaders of this team. You could say the same thing for Bennett. Those are two seniors. 22 assists on the weekend for Kelsey Bennet. Obviously, Schmaltz is out there with Land, Overman, Garenser, Lou, and Esparza.
And again, as a defensive coach, you hate to see the pull go out of bounds. You want a chance to start coming down on the offense and not let them set from a place of comfort.
Esparza back on track.
Great dump defense there from Bennett, making life difficult for Garenser, unable to get that reset.
Lou floats it up. This will be a battle. Schmaltz in the area. She's got it! Are you kidding me?
I'm not sure if this is exactly where Cheru Lou expected that to come down, but once again, Julia Schmaltz in triple coverage.
Impervious to any defender, it appeared.
9 goals for Julia Schmaltz. You know, you asked earlier if one of the performances we saw could be deemed Stubbsian. And I know we talked about that term being trademarked.
Yeah, you owe something now too, but you're gonna try to coin the term?
Is this Schmaltzian? Is that going to be a thing going forward?
Let's let the event breathe a little bit. But we are seeing a performance that is obviously among the best this tournament has ever seen. I mean, you can't do much better than 9 goals and 13 scores for your team. And she's not going to leave the field the rest of the game. Can Texas break to win, or will we have another Universe point on semifinal Sunday. How about this? Texas going away from the zone defense. Colorado turns it over. Esparza takes a deep breath and scoops up the disc. Colorado's season on the line. Stall. 10 seconds elapsed.
It's a dead disc. Okay.
Esparza.
Tap the ground and we're good. All right, we're live.
Never let it go.
I thought she had Gerritzer open on the reset, but maybe that wasn't the look she wanted.
There was a pick downfield. How about Gerritzer with how much he's run this game, still bouncing around like a pogo stick on the mark. Running a foot fire drill. Up the line, there was contact on the release.
But it looked like it was after the release, and Bennett's not going to call a foul. Esparza's going to get the disc essentially where she turned it over.
She taps it in 10 yards shy of where the disc went out. Just trying to initiate play before the defense could set. It's a game to 14. Texas could win it here. Melee, one of the great stories of the season in women's ultimate. Into their first final on the back of Julia Schmaltz. 10 goals. 14-12, Texas takes it. Schmaltz and Verju, get your popcorn ready.
After Melee got the disc back, smoothly pumping, waiting for the look they wanted, and Schmaltz caps off a dominant performance with her 10th goal of the game. And Melee avenging a South Central Regional Final loss and heading on to the National Championship game tomorrow against Dartmouth Princess Layout.
Unreal. She scored all of Texas's goals in the second half. 10 for the game. She had an assist too. We'll talk to her next. The USA Ultimate College Championships are brought to you in part by Discraft Ultrastar. Find the official disc of USA Ultimate at more than 1,900 U.S. retail locations. And by 5 Ultimate, apparel made specifically for Ultimate players by Ultimate players. Visit 5ultimate.com for everything from jerseys and shorts to custom team uniforms. Your final score, Texas 14, Colorado 12. It'll be Melee and Princess Layout in tomorrow's title game. Edith Tang, the head coach of Texas, joins us. Coach, congratulations on the win. What did it take, aside from 10 goals from Julia Schmaltz, to get this W today?
Well, I'll be really honest, we did not execute the game plan that we wanted to. I think it came down to individual players on our team deciding to kind of put the team on their back and make it happen.
Coach, we saw a number of defenses in the second half. We saw a little switch to man matchup defense late in the game. What was your thinking as you were seeing the Collie offense progress through the game?
I think we just wanted to give them multiple looks. Our zones gave them some trouble in the first half, but they adjusted really well to them, so they were moving the disc a lot better in the second half. So we wanted to just switch it up, give them something else to look at. And honestly, man defense is our bread and butter. That's what we pride ourselves on. So we always are comfortable going back to that.
A lot of great players obviously got you this win, but 10 goals from Julia Schmaltz. Did her performance surprise you at all?
Honestly, we've seen Julia make plays like that all year, so it's not a huge surprise. And knowing her competitive spirit, her showing up in a game like this, not surprising at all.
You guys played Dartmouth close earlier this year. What did you learn from that loss?
They're definitely a good team. They have some definite powerhouses on that team. I think we are a different team than the last time when we saw them, so I'm excited for this matchup. It's going to be really good.
Coach, you got 19 hours until we launch the opening poll tomorrow, so go get some rest, do some scouting. We'll see you tomorrow. Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Edith Tang leading Texas to the title game here at College Nationals. Our Discraft play of the game. This was one of her 10 goals. Maybe the most impressive? I don't know.
No, I'd agree with that one. When this one came out of Cheru Lu's hand, I'm not sure this landed exactly where she wanted it to, but Julia Schmaltz unfazed by the triple coverage, converging defenders from Kali, able to secure that hold for Texas.
Julia, you are on TV. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
What were you thinking throughout that game, especially in the second half? You may not even realize it, but you caught every goal from your team in the second half.
No, I did not realize it. All we were thinking was play our game. I trust my handlers. You can see there's a tremendous amount of trust on this team. Shrew throwing those backhands, just putting it up, knowing I'll be there. And I'm trusting her to put it where I can get it, and she does.
Julia, I know this is your second season playing with Melee. When you started coming to Ultimate practice, did you ever imagine that you'd find yourself in a situation like this?
No. I didn't even know about Ultimate Frisbee. I certainly didn't know it was like this. But it's a fun sport, you know. I like to run, jump, catch things, so it works out.
Who have been your mentors that have helped bring you into this community, into this team, and into this championship game?
Yeah, so in Texas, we are maybe a little bit isolated, but the seniors on the team, Dre was my captain last year, so she taught me a lot. All the veterans on the team, we are very vet heavy. They have a wealth of information. And then we also have a club team in town that comes out, is willing to work with us at practices, scrimmage us. In particular, one very talented deep cutter named Sarah Levin. She's worked with me a lot, pushed me a lot. Just jump and catch, that's what it boils down to, though.
Very cool, and you got Dartmouth tomorrow. What's your memory from the game against them in the finals of Stanford Invite on March 5th?
Well, I've said to the team all season I'm only interested in winning one tournament this year. It's this one. So obviously, it was upsetting to lose that final, but I felt like we played a pretty good game. It didn't feel like we were pushing all the way. I am certainly excited for a rematch against Jacqueline. I think that I've got more in me than I had in that game, so I'm excited to see it tomorrow.
Julia Schmaltz, it was a really fun performance to watch. Get some rest, and we look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow.
I will, thank you.
Congratulations to Julia Schmaltz and Texas. It'll be Melee and Princess Layout in the championship tomorrow. And this one, Ian, is a game that we'll spend a lot of time talking about, remembering. It was a special performance for Melee.
I think we're going to see a tremendous matchup between teams that have very tight rotations, some excellent role players, and some dominant superstars who are just going to determine the fate of the outcome.
That's 2:30 tomorrow on the U. We've got 3 down, and we've still got 1 to go. For now, we say so long. Ian Toner and Evan Lepler signing off from Bishop Fenwick High School. Texas narrowly gets past their regional rival, Colorado, 14-12. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live on the ESPN app. And to watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. North Carolina and North Carolina Wilmington coming up next.